today I will discuss about career development and who is responsible for career development of an employee. So, now the question comes to all of us whether it is the employee who is responsible or the organization, or it is a partnership between employee, organization and the manager. So, we will explore about the individual, manager and employee. We have discussed earlier that each one of them is responsible for development of an employee, the individual, the employer and the manager in our previous discussion. So, further moving towards the employee's role, employer's role, further moving towards the employer's role in career development, let us understand how the employer plays an important role in career development. So, in our previous discussion of various interventions, we have discussed that realistic job preview, challenging first job, career oriented appraisals, job rotation, mentoring and networking and interaction is very important for developing an individual or for career development of an individual. So, who is responsible for all these initiatives and the interventions? So, generally it is the employer who takes initiative, or employer, the organization should give the realistic job preview to an individual, so that he does not feel dissatisfied when he sees the situation on the job, or when he has a first interaction with the various facilities on the job, with the real life situation on the job. So, therefore, an individual need to be given a realistic job preview at the time of giving him an offer. So, challenging nature of the job, challenges on the job, these should be also explained to the individual when an offer is being given. Career oriented appraisals, the performance appraisal should be also very clear to the individual, like what are the, whether it is the behavior, the trait or the results which is important for appraisal of an individual. Job rotation is also another intervention which helps in career development of an individual, giving different assignments to individuals, or giving different challenges or different responsibilities to an individual while on the job. So, an individual experiences, learns on the job with his first hand experience, he learns and develops, learning from the peers through sharing of information, exchange of information, sharing of knowledge, the individual develops. So, consciously or unconsciously an individual learns while practicing or while interacting with various aspects of the job. Then we also discussed about mentoring. As an individual in the job experiences problems of various types, can be personal or professional issues which he comes across, which may at times demotivate or may dissatisfy an individual, may reduce his motivational level, or so the responsibility of employer is to keep the employee always motivated. So, there in that case the mentors or the professionals or the counselors, they can help an individual overcome the challenges, or they can help the individual who is facing the problems or the challenges, they can sail through various issues or the problems very well. So, mentoring is also one of the interventions. Networking and interactions, an individual remains cut off from other individuals and does not get an avenue to professional growth. So, the job of the employer is, or the responsibility of the employer is, to provide avenues so that the individual can interact, can establish networks with different individuals, with peers from other departments and also the supervisors. So, networking and interaction should also be made available. So, these are the employer's role in career development. Then moving further, organization's role in career development. How does an organization play an important role in career development? Organization's role in career development. Let us take each one of them into let us discuss each one of them one by one. Career development initiatives. What are career development initiatives? Provide workbook and workshops. Some workshops can be carried out, taken up, so that an individual knows various the responsibilities he has to take up, he knows how to carry out the task on the work, and the workbooks are various methods through which an individual can be given some suggestions of career development. Career counseling by mentors. There are different, the senior executives or those who are on the retirement stage or those who have already reached a very senior position, they can mentor the junior employees who are exploring or who are in the establishment stage or who are in the exploration stage. They can be mentored by or they can be counseled by the career counselors or the senior employees. Career self management training. Some training measures can be taken up where an individual can introspect the weaknesses as well as the strengths of self. So, career self management training, individual can be told how he can manage how he can manage self on the job, like controlling his anxiety, fear, apprehensions, and also be more confident, and he can how to control anger, how to communicate effectively, and how to negotiate. So, these are some self management tricks which an employee can be developed on, and some special trainings can be conducted, give developmental feedback. Also, while an individual is performing, he need to be corrected time and again. So, there can be some developmental feedback to be given to an individual by the supervisors through some kind of say some counseling measures, through interaction, one to one interaction or an interview method. So, where the developmental feedback or the performance feedback can be given to the employee, providing mentoring. So, these factors, these measures, the workbook, workshop, career counseling, self management training and developmental feedback and mentoring help an individual to develop himself, and to it will help him to reach the career goals of the individual. Then next responsibility is to match the individual's goal with organizational needs. Organization has different responsibilities, different goals, larger goals, and the organization can be successful if those goals can be broken down into sub goals and they can be matched with the individual's goals. So, the responsibility of the organization is to identify each individual's personal goals and match it with organizational goals, which means that individual's strengths, weaknesses can be identified, his motivational needs can be identified, and he can be assigned a task which he can find more value adding or can be of interest. So, identifying the interests of an individual and giving him a profile which matches to his goals, personal goals, would be fruitful to the organization. The goal matching concept means encouraging employee ownership of career. So, when there is a alignment of self goal to the organizational goal or individual's goal, personal goals to organizational goals, then the individual would be more engaged in the workplace, would give his 100% contribution to the job which has been assigned, and create a supportive context. So, organization also need to take care that a supporting work environment is provided, a conducive climate is provided to him, so that they can extract maximum out of an individual, or we can otherwise simply we can say individual would be more productive. Communicate directions of the company. So, a person gets lost if he is not given a guided chart or given a direction, a proper direction of how to perform. So, if an individual is given guidelines, or you can say an individual is given certain sub goals of how to perform, what to perform. So, he would be he would perform accordingly, or he would try to he would reach those sub goals on time. So, mutual goal setting and planning is very important both by the individual as well as the organization. Then career development initiatives gauge employees potential. Another thing is that we would discuss here is gauging employees potential, measure competencies. Each individual would have his or her own strengths. Not every individual is alike. There would be strengths, like some would have a personality trait, like some individuals have certain traits which can prove him to be very successful on the job. Certain individuals lack some skills, certain competencies, attitudinal problems, behavioral issues. So, this must be identified. So, what I wanted to say is gauging employees' potentials, measure their competencies. So, competencies are basically the skills, attitude. You can say the competencies are skills, attitude, then abilities of an individual which can help him perform on the job. So, these are certain skill sets. This need to be appraised by the manager. Establish talent inventories. What is talent inventory? So, an individual, like say suppose for performing on the job, a person needs skills like leadership, say certain job knowledge, or some experience. So, apart from that, a winning competency could be his communication, his conduct, his say sincerity, or could be like how he interacts, trust with the subordinates, or say convincing or how to influence subordinates, how he exercises power, or his positive attitude in the workplace. So, these factors could also prove to be could also help an individual to be successful on the job. So, establish talent inventories. Inventories in or battery of skills can be defined, or a list of skills can be skills, ability, attitude, each job which can be useful for each job position. So, such talent inventories need to be developed. Establish successful succession plans. What is succession plan? If an individual joins as a junior manager today, what is the career or succession plan? So, junior manager can become a senior manager can become a general manager, and so on, or a group general manager, and so on. So, these are successive positions in an organization. For each job there would be some successive say positions, or the or the progression of his career in a particular job. So, establish succession plans, use assessment centers. As I told you in the previous lecture, that assessment center is a career development is an intervention when some jobs it is not possible for an employee to exactly work on the job, but we need to develop his skills, we need to develop his managerial skills, his decision making ability, his the person need to be promoted to the next level. For that we need to ensure that he has negotiation skills, his leadership ability. For that we need to create a situation or a simulated environment which can help an individual to develop on these skills, to develop his say managerial skills, his negotiation ability, communication skills, decision making ability, strategic thinking. So, certain simulated environment or say like the one which he or she is going to experience on the work can be developed through the assessment centers. So, the career development initiatives could be gauging employees' potential by measuring competencies, by establishing a talent inventory, establishing succession plans, use assessment center as an intervention, so that an employee can be developed as a talent. Opportunities and requirement. Identify career opportunities and requirement. How you can identify certain career opportunities for an individual so that he can get an avenue for development, identify future competency needs. As we have just discussed that an individual, each two individuals may not be alike, each one has some strengths and weaknesses. So, to make everybody a talent to develop the competency of an individual, organization need to have some assessments of each individual, or they can identify what skills are matching, what future competencies are required, so that the person can be promoted to the next level. If they are missing some skills, so they need to be trained and developed through various measures, and establish job progression or career path. Career path need to be defined, balance promotion, transfer and exits. Then promotions can be given, transfers can be given to the individual, and if somebody is if somebody is not able to perform as per the requirements of the job or as per the goals of the organization, then the person can exit. So, these measures need to be well exercised, defined by the organization. Establish dual career path. As we discussed on various career stages, and in some stage we discussed that person has established on his job and he has issues of adjusting with his or he is just settling down in his personal life, where the issues could be the problems which he faces in the job is the work life balance issue, or the dual career path, where the spouse and is also working or is in different location, is working in another city. So, such issues need to be also taken care of, because if you want to develop your employee as a talent, it is not that we have to take care of his or her performance only on the job within the organizational setup, but we also need to see what are the challenges an individual faces at different points of time, at different career stages. So, this is very important, and organization has to take care of. So, of all these issues in order to develop the individual, or in order for to take care of the career development of a manager. Now, moving further to determining employee potential. As we already discussed in the previous discussion, that provide workbook and workshops. So, career planning workbooks can be given to the individual. What is career planning workbook? It helps individual to stimulate thinking about career, their strengths, limitations and developmental needs. Career planning workbooks, if not given, an individual would not know what he has to do. So, it is like a guide chart which will help an individual to know about what is the expectation of the organization and how he can, if he fulfills those expectations, what is the reward he will be getting in return. So, these workbooks are very important for development of employee potential. Then career planning workshops. Then organization also sometimes arranges certain workshops and discuss and compare attitude, concerns, plans. So, these workshops are a measure to help individual understand and also exhibit their own concerns, their plans in career growth. So, they can understand, they can explore opportunities. Career counseling is also required, discuss the job, career interest and the goal. So, career counseling is also a measure to explore their own interest and their self goals, as well as discuss the job related challenges. Employers career planning and development practices. What are the career planning and development practices which have been carried out by the organizations? In different organizations, there are different measures. So, overall I would like to discuss that job posting, formal education, tuition fee reimbursement, performance appraisal for career planning, counseling given by managers or say senior managers or peers is very important. lateral moves or job rotations, giving different assignments to individuals or the employees will help them to know various job roles, responsibilities, to understand the challenges, and so the employee becomes multitasker. He understands it is not that he remains in silos, but he also interacts, he also encounters with the challenges of different jobs. Counseling given by the human resource management professionals. Apart from the counseling by managers, counseling given by HR, the human resource professionals, is also helpful for individuals in their career development. Then pre-retirement programs, some individuals, those who are almost on the verge of retirement, they have different apprehensions of how to quit, what would be the challenges, and some counseling like regarding the, because the individuals have spent a large amount of their time in the organization. So, it becomes very difficult for them to realize that the day has come when they have to quit job. So, such individuals, there remains doubt about the second innings in the career. So, the formal training or say formal the pre-retirement programs, counseling is also taken up by some organizations. Succession planning helps managers to decide how they can take their how they can reach or climb the career in the organization. Formal mentoring, then common career paths, dual ladder career paths. The dual ladder career path is for those employees whose spouse is also working, and if the spouse is working in a different organization in a different city, so there could be some different challenges. So, the organization also takes care of some these issues. Career booklets or pamphlets which will just give a kind of a short information about the prospective positions in the next level and what is expectation of the organization, written individual's career plan, then career workshops, as we have already discussed, that this will help an individual know about the challenges, attitude, concern and plans of the individual. And assessment center is a simulated environment where the individual helps in learning, where an individual develops his managerial skills and competencies, upward appraisal by the manager, the senior manager. Sometimes there is not only the appraisal by one manager, but there is a committee which appraises the individual's performance, which is also good, as it would help in 360-degree appraisal of an individual. The overall, this will help in overall personality development, development of the individual. This would also help in the growth of the individual, because he may not accept one person's comments or one person's comments on the or flaws identified by an individual. When various people or a group of people give advice, the person is able to accept those feedbacks. So, training programs for managers are also certain initiatives for development of an individual, orientation and induction programs. Then special needs for high flyers. High flyers are those individuals who are exceptionally bright, who have exhibited performance beyond the expectation of organizations. So, there has to be some kind of special training given to high flyers or employee talents, because they are the people who add value to the organization, and the organization need to retain them, and there should be some special measures for that, because these individuals, if they do not get a supportive environment, if they do not get challenging nature of task, if they are not given due attention, there are chances of leaving the organization. Special needs for dual career couples. There many organizations face this challenge when their spouse is in a different organization or is in a different location. So, there is always a chance of relocation. So, organization need to develop some measures to retain such challenges or such employees. Then diversity management. Another issue that comes up in career planning and development is retaining the people with diversity. As we know that there are diverse, nowadays the buzzword is having diverse people in the organization, because there is an assumption that if you have people with differences, the organization would be more innovative and creative. So, there are challenges in the contemporary organizations after globalization. There are issues of organizations have been recruiting people with diversity. Basically, we talk about people with differences in age, gender, culture, nationality. So, people how to keep these people in the organization and also make them adjust to the organization and its challenges. So, these are various developmental measures which the organization is also taking care of. Further discussing how to evaluate employees' developmental needs, servicing the career development needs, career planning workshops, career planning workbooks, career counseling, developmental testing for employees, and extensive web based products and services. Specific career development initiatives that we will be discussing is the career counseling, career pathing, inventory skills, transfers, training, posting and promoting lateral developments. Career counseling is a process of discussing with employees their current job activities and performance, their personal job and career goals, their personal skills and suitable career development objectives is called career counseling. It is a process of discussing with employees their current job profile, job activities and their performance, their personal job and career goals, their present skills and career development objectives. So, when you interact with somebody about these aspects, their present job conditions, their performance, their own interest or skills and their personal goals, the person would express, and he can be, if there is say overestimation or say some kind of problem or issues which he is not able to clearly explain, he can discuss with the career counselor. So, creating favorable conditions for career development, how we can help and or create a favorable condition for career development through management support, through goal setting, changes in or by taking care of the HRM policies and announcing programs or announcing or publicizing the program. So, what is management support? Provide top management support, provide collaboration between line managers and HR managers and train management personnel. Goal setting is planning human resource management strategy, changing HR policies, that is we discussed about job rotation. One individual, if he begins a job, if he is given an assignment or a job A, so he will work for that particular assignment or the job for say 6 months, and after 6 months he can be deployed on another project B, where he can continue for maybe 3 months or 4 months or 6 months depending upon the requirement of the project. So, and then further he can be given another job, say job C, or he can be deployed on project C and he can continue to work for 1 year or 6 months based on the requirement. So, in this method the person learns while working on the job, learning on the job. So, experience gained through knowledge sharing, or information sharing with peers or other people, peers or colleagues. So, the person learns while being on the job. Provide outplacement service or say outsourcing individuals, outplacement services. In companies like TCS, in companies like TCS and Infosys or other software firms, they send their employees, the regular employees are sent for outstation jobs, they are sent to offshore projects. So, offshore projects they learn while being on those offshore projects. So, these are also various ways through which an organization can create favorable conditions for career development. Announcing or publicizing the program, explain the philosophy of the career development plans, and this is also helping the individual to develop. So, what we have discussed about who is responsible for career development, we discussed the role of the organization, the role of the manager and the role of the individual, and then we also discussed about creating favorable conditions for career development, the management's role, the goal setting, changes in HRM policy and announcing or publicizing the program. So, with this I conclude the session here, and the next session I will be discussing or exploring some theories of career development. Thank you.